Welcome to Goat Talk Live here on Monday nights.
I don't know. I get a little tired of hearing, right?
The 99 is terrible. Here, I'm lacking for some reason. It's real white and flabby.
Every week, every day, I'm on here doing GLR stuff, you know.
Eddie, I tell everybody to listen that we're a really big deal.
Continues to grow and grow and grow.
All right, here we are. Goat Talk Live here on V-Speed, and I'm Eddie Smith. Thank y'all so much for joining us. We got Jacob Ellingson sitting right to my left, your right, and then we got Jake Reeves. I told y'all in the Discord it was going to be a country fried episode tonight, and that is exactly what it is. Glad to have you here, Jake and Jake. It's the Jake and Jake show. How y'all feeling tonight? Y'all doing good?
Doing all right, man. Glad to be back on Go Talk and get this week started off the right way.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here too. This is a pretty cool deal y'all got going on over here. I'm just happy to be a part of it, and can't wait to talk a little bit of racing, Eddie.
Yeah. Well, of course, Goat Talk, we've got a lot going on. Of course, this is championship week. So it is a very, very important week for all things Goat Locker. And tonight is a pretty hefty episode. We're going to have to jump right into it. We don't have a whole lot of time to yang around and talk about other things. So we're going to have to really scoot. But let's jump right into the nonprofit news. Of course, if you don't know, Goat Locker is a nonprofit organization, and they are committed to veterans and first responders and all of the things that have to do with them and helping those guys out. Of course, they've been giving out sim rigs all year this year, and I think at this point over $20,000 in sim equipment that has been given out. Just incredible. Can't say it enough. Just a really cool deal. That's the whole point. That's what Goat Locker is here to do, and they are successful at that. For sure. This year has been incredible. And I'm going to tell you, next year is going to be even wilder. I think it's only going to get better and better. A couple things just to kind of go over some points that Patrick Drabick gave out that we'll kind of talk about is they are planning on doing one more veteran sim rig this year. So before the calendar year is over with, one more veteran is going to be given a sim rig out. He is a Hoosier Army veteran with multiple combat tours. So how about that? That's cool. We're going to give out they're going to give out yet another sim rig, and all before that ball drops on New Year's Day. So just cool, huh, to see these guys continuing to keep that going.
Definitely. Can't thank GLR enough for doing what they do for our nation's veterans. It's just this mission that Pat and Jamie came up with has helped so many, and is going to help many, many more in the future. Can't wait for 2025 to come around.
Yeah, Eddie, I mean, you know me. I mean, I'm a small town country boy from Northwest Georgia, baby. We're all about the military and the veterans and everybody that does what they do for this country. So happy to be a part of Goat Locker and everything that they stand for.
Yeah. Well, some more news that we'll kind of get through, and there's a lot of it. So we'll just want to highlight a couple things. They're planning their next NASCAR race. They kind of took over Bristol Motor Speedway last year. That was a lot of fun to see those pictures, see those guys hanging out at Bristol Motor Speedway. So they got 8 VIP passes that were donated to Goat Locker. So man, really cool to see that they're going to continue those meetups. So stay tuned. You might be able to go meet up with the Goat Locker guys and hang out. It seemed like it was a really good time at Bristol. And then the big one, man, we got a lot of really cool announcements. They're going to be doing an event with Save 22. Now, if you don't know what Save 22 is, it's an organization dedicated to preventing suicide among veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. They support those who have served our nation and communities by listening to their stories and providing unwavering support, ensuring that they are never alone or forgotten. And Goat Locker's sort of tagline is one lap at a time. So Save 22 really fits into that where it's all about veterans and trying to make a difference and at least I mean, they've done it and won as many veteran lives as they possibly can. Now, you wonder what SAVE means. Well, it's an acronym. It's for Shield, Assist, Volunteer, and Educate. So really cool to hear that Goat Locker is having even more partners come on board. There's plenty of room for as many partners as we can fit. We've got it's like, I think there's 6 series going on right now, and I think there's a talk for a 7th at some point. So we're just, it's unbelievable. So as far as their exact sponsorship, what they're going to sponsor, that'll be announced over the off season. So look forward to that. Pay attention. Man, it's so cool to have even more partnerships and folks that you kind of work with, groups. Anytime you can make those kind of connections, it is so cool. Glove Station is the new ARCA series sponsor, so go check them out on the web. So Glove Station is going to be sponsoring the new ARCA series next year. And of course, all the current sponsors, Veterans for Life, will move to Operation Valor and will be the title sponsor for the Friday Night Truck Series. All the other ones outside of the 2 that we just mentioned should stay the same. So how about that? Operation Valor will be the title sponsor for the Premier Truck Series on Friday. So we're just dropping announcements like they're nothing here tonight. So really cool to see that truck series. Of course, it's been one of the better series all season. Looking forward to seeing that Operation Valor be a part of that. And of course, Jamie Perkins, big part of that. We had him on last week. Really cool. Pat said that he met with InVets today, and they're extremely impressed and grateful for all the support that they have been given. And Pat said to keep it up. Of course, there's been a big push to really highlight InVets. If you don't know what InVets is sort of the middleman between Goat Locker and Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs. This is not perfectly exact, but they help facilitate finding those veterans to give the sim rigs to that the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs is the grant is for. So InVets is a huge part. Josh Unger, all the vets in Indiana who were given a sim rig went through InVets, I do believe. If not a majority of them. So InVets is a big part of what Goat Locker does. They help facilitate the things that Goat Locker is trying to do, find those veterans. There's an application process. So InVets, you've seen a couple things this week that has been really nice. You've had the InVets in-car cameras. Well, on Friday nights, we had the InVets restart zone instead of the Geico restart zone. So if you're out there and you're in the creator space for GLR, if you're doing broadcasts, InVets, let's really push those guys. They're a big part, and we want to continue to push that for them. I like what you're doing there, Jake. I can do that too. Alex, can you move your hat?
I think, I don't know.
Well, a couple more news. Man, there's so many good things and some stuff that we can't talk about just yet. But it looks like my camera's about to fall. That's okay. We're not worried about that.
Strap her down, baby. Strap her down.
Yeah. 6 simulators were given out this year. We've already talked about this. Over $20,000 in total have been given to very deserving veterans. Well, some other big news about the podcast. The podcast is going to be going through some changes here soon. Some really cool deals that have kind of popped up that are very exciting. We've been the podcast we kind of jumped in there and said, okay, let's just do it. Let's get the podcast going. Let's get it go. It's like a diesel engine. Let's get this bad boy rolling like a train. And once we get the train rolling, then we can add and change things up like what we want to. So getting it going was the biggest hurdle. And now that we got it going, we want to refine this bad boy. So looking forward to a move. No, it won't be on V-Speed any longer. We will be moving the Goat Talk to Above the Yellow Line on that channel with, if you've never heard of Above the Yellow Line, I'm surprised as hell. But Taylor Kitchens does a podcast. There's all kinds of podcasts. It's a really cool media channel, and Goat Talk will now be featured on that channel starting in January. So be on the lookout for that. Really cool. Sponsors are going to be coming on board. We're hoping to get some folks We love to have the vets and folks that race in the league, but we're going to have some folks that are part of the sponsorship. People from Jam Printing and Promotions has been with Goat Locker for a long time. Sponsor folks that really make things happen. We want to get them on here, learn about them, get to know them. So really, really cool to see that. And yeah, really excited. I didn't know how the podcast was going to go. I'm really excited that people love it and enjoy it. People saying they missed it when it wasn't out. So we're really, really thankful for y'all that are watching it. And, you know, if you like it, keep supporting it, because there's going to be some sponsors that come on board that will love to put their name out there. And yeah, just really awesome. So next season schedules and the calendar will be coming out over the next 2 or 3 weeks. And the spring season will start on the week of January 13th for a typical 15-week full season. So, hey, this season's not even over. We're talking about the next season. That's how Goat Locker rolls, baby. We don't we don't mess around. We're already talking about the next one before we've even crowned our champion. So that is your nonprofit news for tonight. There's a lot more out there. Just wanted to give a little bit of peppering on the news. And Jake Ellingson, you got anything that I missed?
I don't. Other than I'm excited for this next season to come up. A lot of things in the works. You know, the schedules, you know, are getting refined right now, and it's going to be definitely one hell of a season next season.
Yeah, looking forward to it. We got Charles Abert in the chat. We got Chuck Feltz, got Jacob Linke, got Operation Valor Racing. What's going on? And Jamie Lipke in chat. Mama Ellingson in chat, as always, saying, Jake, don't look so serious. Love it.
Which
and
one?
Charles Abert, Charles Abert says, pick me. I would love to be honored to be a guest on one day. Well, hey, I'm glad you said that. That's part of the refining process, is refining and scheduling out guests for each episode as we move forward. Yeah, like I said, it's going to be a lot of really cool stuff. Right now, it's just I'm taking whoever will show up who wants to be a part of it, and so we're gonna try to schedule that out so you can see, and we can get as many people on here, learn about them as much as we can. So it's very possible, Charles, you'll be on before you know it. All right, well, Jake, man, I appreciate you coming on, being a part of this. And of course, if you don't know Jake Reeves, well, I'm not gonna give you an introduction. I'm gonna let you tell it. If you ain't heard him before, he's on Nazar 360. He's one of my favorite announcers on. And it may be because I'm Southern and I'm just drawn to Southern folks, but he's an announcer for Nazar 360. He's also the Doorbang and Download host. If you're looking for another podcast, hey, you need to subscribe to that one. Jake, man, glad to have you here. Tell us about yourself. Who are you? Where'd you come from?
Well, I come from a little small town right here in northwest Georgia, mainly from Calhoun, but I moved to Rome with my wife. You know, me and her were engaged, moved into this apartment that we're in right now. And so, you know, basically kind of what got me into announcing was, you know, I looked on Twitter or whatever, and obviously, you know, moving in, getting ready to get married and everything, you look at it, you know, money situations, and it's not that good. And so, you know, I looked, and McConey Entertainment, which I got to give Jeff McConey a plug. I mean, he's the one that got me the start. And, he had something on Twitter on the McConey Entertainment about, you know, announcing for $15 an hour. And, you know, it was also about the point of, if you've got experience, give me a holler. Well, I ain't going to lie to you. I lied. I had no experience whatsoever. Believe that or not, Eddie, I had no experience whatsoever going into it. And I was just like, hey, look, I want to try to get into this right here. You know, the money and everything else, you know, trying to, you know, get going, you know, with the family and everything. And he's like, okay, well, let's just see what you got. And believe it or not, very first truck race that I got into, it was a truck race, and it was at Coda. They basically threw me into the wolves with a road course race.
Coda?
Coda
That's the worst.
And so I have absolutely no idea what to do. And, you know, and then the next week it was Darlington, which I kind of had a little bit of insight on that. And, you know, it just kind of just started growing from there. And then eventually, you know, Brady LaBeouf and Cody Knott and them over with the Nazar 360 Racing Network, they I slid in there with them, and I had to try to find myself. I had to try to find who I was. And basically what it was that everybody told me, look, just be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else, try to be yourself. And then it got so crazy, and everybody loved, the announcing and the energy and oh, they're going four wide, they're door banging, all hell's breaking loose behind them and everything, all that crazy stuff. It basically it turned into everybody was sitting there saying I was the Dale Jr. of Nazareth. And somehow or another, somebody come up with a nickname. I don't even know who it was, but they came up with a nickname for me as the redneck announcer. And Eddie, that has stuck all the way up until now. And it's come out to a podcast like you were talking about, the door banging down low, which by the way, if you're going to listen to it, make sure that the kids are in the bed. I say that every Thursday night. Make sure the kids are in the bed. We do get a little bit wild on that show, but it has went to that. It has went to sponsorships. It has went to me actually going to a real dirt track and doing pit race, after the race interviews in the pits.
Yeah.
And hopefully it will lead to more later on down the road. And it's just, it went from wanting, $15 an hour to basically, wow, look at what has come and look what is now. And I'm forever blessed and forever grateful for the opportunities that Jeff's given me and Brady LaBeouf's given me, and even y'all, Eddie Smith and all y'all over at V Speed. When I done some stuff with y'all, I'm forever grateful for everything that everybody's ever done for me. And that's pretty much the intro that I got.
Yeah.
So I don't know what else you can say.
Yeah, and I think, me and you both have a similar thing where we have, we grew up around, the South is just a very particular, and I think it's sort of a lovable personality, I think is what it is. I wouldn't say I have a lovable personality. I would think they're probably out there watching right now that says, I don't know about that. But when we talk, the things that we say, the words and phrases that come from the South, they're just unique. And they're just relatable. And I think whenever you have a Southern, guy on there that can really, you got to have the chops, you've got to be able to talk about the stuff. You got to be able to say, but you can make somebody laugh. There's a huge Southern audience on iRacing. And, to have the ability to get on there and have them hear somebody that, oh, they sound like the guy I work with, they sound like the guy I work with, on the construction site or in the office or whatever. And he makes jokes and stuff. And that's the beauty of iRacing broadcast. I mean, you've got guys from Australia, you've got guys from Britain who call road course races. You got guys from California, northeast of the United States, all over that. The audience is so big that you want to have all these different type of guys, and I think you really fit into that mold, and people just enjoy it, man. I think the energy obviously is a big part of it, because when people are paying to have your races broadcast, they want energy. They want you to bring that good, you know what I'm saying? And I can't tell you how much I like what you do, and I'm a little jealous sometimes of what you pull off, and I always enjoy listening to you. So just been really cool. What would you say has been your biggest something that you've learned that you've gotten better at over the time? I think you kind of jump in, you said it was natural, right? And you kind of naturally kind of took to it. What do you think you've kind of grown and gotten better at as you've done it more?
Well, when I started, it's like, what we was talking about was, finding yourself and being who you are. And, when I started out, I was trying to be somebody that I was not.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you end up being who you are, it's like you said, working class American, people can relate to you, hey, that's a guy, I'd like to have a beer with, at a bar or something like that. And so, but that's one of the things that I could say that, I've kind of been able to create, I guess you could say. Well, not necessarily create, because folks, it's not a gimmick. I'm not even joking with you. It's not a gimmick. What I do, it is real. And another thing I guess you could say is I learned to pace myself, because, I try to bring the energy for that hour and a half, hour, 2 hours, however long that broadcast is. But at some point, either the beer or the water wears off, and you got to calm down just a little bit, and you got to kind of slow it down a little bit. So I've learned, to be myself, and also to learn how to pace, at certain points. And hey, that's the good thing about this, Eddie, is I'm learning every single day to learn new tricks and new ways to try to make myself better. And that's one thing I really love about this.
Yeah, and it's just an outlet for creativity. You know, I think that's another thing is you're able to kind of put that out there, and like you said, it's something, a craft that you can hone and work on, and something that could translate to something in real life. And we've seen that happen in iRacing all the time. But yeah, I think I think you're right. I think that. I think it's easy to jump in here and try to have an announcer voice. You know, some guys elect to do that, some don't. And I don't know. It just depends on who you are. But I can't get in here and set up do a announcer voice. I can't do that. You know, it just sounds ridiculous. Sounds like you're being something weird. You can't do something. I don't know. I don't think I would ever do that. So I think you're absolutely right. Authenticity is the key thing there. Of course, it's just funny. You know, you're just funny whenever you say, "Oh, the door banging." Oh, yeah. You know, that's people want to be entertained, man. And you can give them all the information in the world, but if you're not to making them laugh every once in a while, because I've done many a broadcast, but I only really get messages on the funny things that I say. You know what I mean? Like, people just want to be entertained. If they're going to sit there and watch an iRacing broadcast, they want to laugh and have a good time. And I think you really bring the goods when it comes to that, Jake. Man, we appreciate you being here. We're going to move on, talk about a couple more things before we get into the championship season. Anything else you wanted to add before we move on?
I mean, just thank y'all, and just thank Patrick and Jamie and Jake and Ottman, just everybody within Goat Locker, and just everybody. The good Lord for blessing me and my family and everybody. Just thanks to everybody for everybody that's got me to this point, and hopefully I'll be able to stick around for a little while longer.
Well, I know Goat Locker is pleased to have you, man, and I can't wait to work with you again. That's one thing I missed, dude. We got to get back together and do some broadcasts, dadgummit.
We will. We will. You bring the beer. We'll be ready.
All right. Well, let's move on to let's see if I can get this thing pulled up right here. What's going on here? What the heck? I've lost the thing that I need to get here. Oh, there it is.
Lost.
I'm lost. I've got so many windows after bringing Howie on last week that I lost my button, but I found it. It's here again, and of course we're going to talk about our veteran spotlight. And this month, I think I've been kind of rotating through veteran spotlights, and I do like that, but also I kind of want to move into sort of talking about them all month, I think, until a new one is released. I don't know. I think I like to continue to highlight them, even if we've seen it a couple times. But this month is Josh Lokovitz served 22 years, 15 of those on active orders in the Iowa Army National Guard. He did multiple deployments overseas, notably in Iraq in 2005, and Afghanistan from 2018 to 2019. He held the MOSs of 12B, 29E, 89B, 35F. He retired as a Sergeant First Class E7. Thank you for your service to our great nation. Glad to have you part of the Goat Locker Racing family. Josh Lokovitz, your veteran spotlight. We appreciate Josh and all that he has done. And, hey, appreciate him being a part of this. I know Josh very well. It's always been a blast to race with him. He's a damn good guy. Jake, say something good about Josh.
Yeah. Josh is just a good guy. He's fun to talk to. From the conversations that I've had with him, he's an all around good person. Keeps people level headed, and hope to see him out on the track more next season.
Yeah. I'll ditto on that right there with Jake. Because I've had the chance to talk to Josh a couple of times. I mean, just such a great guy, and hell of a race car driver too. Honestly, I mean, he knows how to get around some of these tracks too. So all around sim, but mainly about the real deal. I mean, he is such a great guy. Thank him very much for his service.
Yeah, I mean Decker, he doesn't talk about it very often. When I saw this, there's a lot of things I did not know. So, and I think he goes to I can't remember what racetrack. Jake, do you know what racetrack he's worked at before?
I do not
Man, I
offhand
can't
know.
remember. I'll have to get that out information and put it somewhere. But anyway, all right. Well, the next segment is the GOAT of the week. Well, this is a segment where we just kind of highlight somebody that has done some really good stuff and has been a big part of Goat Locker, around Goat Locker adjacent. Doesn't have to be any specific person, could be a group of people. I gave it to all the people that showed up that aren't in the playoffs last week. So let's move right into the GOAT of the week. Just highlight some top dogs in our top goats, I guess, in our league. So Jake, who you got for GOAT of the week?
I'm gonna take Brandon Wallace, man. The 99 is terrible. That guy. We give that guy so much shit, and he just rolls with the punches and gives it right back. He's a good trooper, good guy. Can't say enough about his attitude towards everything. He's a pretty cool dude.
Jake Reeves, who you got for GOAT of the week?
I tell you what, I'm probably going to blow y'all's mind right here, but I'm actually going to the GOAT of the week. Honestly, it could really be the GOATs of the season, and it's got to be the fans. It's got to be each and every one of the fans that come in here each and every night supporting, their son or their nephew or just a friend, that they work with or what have you, or just fans of, Jake Ellingson or Eddie Smith or, me or whoever. I really got to give it to the fans because they show up in numbers, and it doesn't matter which night it is. I mean, they show up. And so, they're the GOATs of the week, but really, I mean, they are the GOATs of the whole season because it's like I said, we got fans all the way around, each and every person that watches. So I got to give it to the fans, Eddie.
I like it. Well, my GOAT of the week is going to go to Jamie Perkins, who has done a lot behind the scenes. We talked to him last week, but I just wanted to highlight him as sort of the GOAT of the week for all the stuff that goes on with sponsors and stuff like that. I mean, of course, him, Pat, Jamie, all of them do such a great job. Pat does more work than I'm not going to say more than anybody, but man, that dude sure does take on a pretty big load for this. And and he is he's a great, but Jamie Perkins is going to be my GOAT of the week with all the sponsorship stuff. I mean, he's really fighting, trying to make this thing something bigger and badder, and he has done a lot of work to do that. So Jamie Perkins is going to be my GOAT of the week. Well, everybody's favorite segment is coming up next, and boy, we got to get into the soapbox here tonight. We've had a little drop off here, but it has gotten it's kind of starting to pick up here as they're getting down to the championship races. So let's jump right into it. Classic Gardner, dirty ass driver, no talent, baby. That's what I vouch. Are you blind? I guess I should have blocked you then so that your point was valid when you sent me. My breaking point didn't change. You were just up my ass. Same guys every week fighting for 14th. You were low. I went high, and goddamn, shitty brake bias on cold tires. It wouldn't fucking stop, and you spun dead center in front of me, then I had target fixation. Do you honestly believe my reaction to this is solely based on the above videos and not the 14 weeks of the same shit week after week? You could take the cowardly stance of not wanting to kick somebody out, but that's just going to drive others away. It has done to me. Thursday will be my last GLR race because of this and continued lack of action. Y'all running one of the best nonprofits in the world, but you certainly aren't race promoters. You know what? I'm going to say it. Half you see no problems in half the incidents you cause. It's always someone else's fault, never your own. Marcus has said it many times. You're just worried about winning. This isn't the place for you. Bet yet, there's still some here that's all that matters. You're not hot shit. Learn your spot. According to Jake Ellingson, I need titties in my face and a cookie. So who are we fighting? I'm down. I fight without pants. Thanks. Also, thanks for getting me loose off the corner of the following lap. I've just been biting my tongue for the last 2 seasons. And in the racing side, hope shit's getting better. I'm not holding back anymore. The 99 is terrible. Half the field has ran me like shit all season. So honestly, I don't give a crap anymore. If y'all
Sounds
like
like
me
a
or
We
not.
Got Reeves session right here. This is what it sounds like.
I'm going to race you like shit, even if you race me like shit. And that's how it's going to be until shit gets turned around. I'm done with the bullshit the last 2 seasons. Did you go back and watch it? Or do I need to grab you a screenshot and give you a step-by-step of what you did? Well, there were some good ones. And we are moving into championship week, man. And, of course, it's all for fun, guys. If you go back and watch this, you can get mad if you want because I read your Discord message. But, hey, we talked for the last 30 minutes about what's really important here at Goat Locker. And so it's all for fun. We're all laughing. There's some stuff that I say will end up in the soapbox. There's stuff that Jake Ellingson says that ends up in the soapbox. There's stuff that everybody says that ends up in the soapbox. It's just for fun. This stuff is not that big a deal. So anyway, it happens. We get up frustrated. We got to let loose. And let's move into championship week. Well, Jake, this is it. 15 weeks culminates into this final week where we have Final Four in each and every season. Tuesday, tomorrow night, Xfinity Series. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday for the Invets Truck Series. All going to crown a champion this week. So let's jump right into it. This past Tuesday in the Xfinity Series, Jake, you won at Gateway. Pretty solid race, kind of dominated that race. But here we are at the championship race. And, well, you have a shot at winning the championship. You're going to have to battle your teammate, Daniel Cunningham and Tyler Justice, to get it done. What are your thoughts? How you feeling about this particular race tomorrow night?
I think the first 80 laps of the race are going to be me and Pat working together, trying to, spread ourselves away from the field. After that, I think it's going to be every man for himself. And I'm telling you, Pat better hope he doesn't run out of gas again.
Yeah, I'm looking to see. There's so much stuff going on. Nashville is the track. Of course, that's. I think people have theorized the conspiracy theories is that this track is here just for you guys. So, yeah, you gotta show up and show out, Jake, at Nashville. This is y'all's track. But it is a fun track, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying that. I really don't mean it. But it should put on a pretty good show tomorrow night with the Xfinity car. And it's been an incredible season. It's been very similar to all the other ones where there's been multiple winners. But it comes down to just one race between those 4 drivers. And, yeah, I mean, Jake Ellingson, I'm not gonna put you on the spot. I know that you're gonna pick yourself to win this thing. So, Jake Reeves, in the Xfinity Series, we have Drabick, we got Ellingson, we got Daniel Cunningham, we got Tyler Justice. This is just for fun. There's no science behind this. If you had to pick one, who you gonna pick?
I think Drabick. Honestly, I mean, no offense to Jake, and I know Jake's in here and everything, but
Mhm.
I got to go. I'm gonna say Patrick Dravick's gonna get it because they're sitting there talking about, oh, they're trying to work together, and Dravick ran out of gas on the last one or whatever. So I'm gonna go with Dravick. I think he's gonna learn from his mistakes. Jake, sorry, but give me Dravick. I'll take Dravick.
Hey, I'm gonna take Dravic too. He's been on fire throughout the playoffs.
Yep.
Truthfully, he really has. He really came alive at the end of the season and has been one of the mainstays in victory lane throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, up until I can't remember the exact race, but was winless for most of the season until the last three races of the season, and where he popped off three in a row, and then now he's won multiple, or he's won one more, I think, in the playoffs. So he is by far the has the most wins of the season in just the final 5 races or so. He earned all that. So it would be hard for me to pick Patrick Drabick. You both of you guys have been really fast all season long. You kind of start up front, you work your way up front, and you stay there. The last couple weeks, y'all have been really really good. So it seems like you guys are locked in. Daniel Cunningham, I want to pick him so bad, but he's gotten this far by second and third place in everybody to death. I mean, he's unbelievable at getting those finishes. He's so good at that, and he is very fast. It is absolutely likely that him or Tyler get it done. But if I had to put my feet to the fire, Patrick's going to have to be the one that I choose. I'm going to have to go along with y'all. He's just been too good at Nashville. He's been too strong in this car. So I have a hard time picking anybody else. But Cunningham, if he can find that little bit of extra, speed that he has been missing, he can definitely get it done. And of course, these races, we've seen them, even the cutoff races have been wild. Good grief. There's no, you really don't know what's going to happen in these championship races. And it don't take but one bad, speeding penalty, one small mistake, and it'll take you out. So, looking forward to see how that's going to play out. That's been a pretty fun season. Hidden Wit Brewery, the sponsor of that one. So let's move on to the next shin. Patrick Drabick wins, locks himself into the... You still have 3 boxes on the left. Might want to rearrange. I don't know what that means. Patrick says there's 3 boxes on the left. You might want to rearrange. I'll let him explain what that means, Pat. But I hear you. Tell me what the problem is. I don't see anything wrong on my end. Just let me know. When the boss man speaks, you listen, I guess. All right, let's talk about
3 rednecks in these boxes. That's what I see. Right?
That's it. I guess he wants them off the screen. I don't know. I think he wants them off. I think we're so ugly that he wants them off the screen. So we'll do that right now. And there it is. So there it is, making Pat happy and just taking us off the screen. We don't want to break any monitors or anything. But let's talk about the next gen series, which has been really, really competitive this season. Drabick, JJ Moore, who I picked to win the championship, is still in it. Jason Taylor and Logan Sturgeon. This is a tough one.
Yeah,
man, I don't know.
Really
I don't know. I hope somebody else would take this one before I have to give my opinion. Jake, what you got?
Honestly, I love Pat to death. I really do. And we're going into Vegas on Wednesday night, but I'm gonna have to take Logan for the upset.
Oh wow, I like it. Little Logan Sturgeon coming through. He's not been flashy at all, but he did win earlier in the season and has gotten himself into the Final Four. I'm sticking with my pick. He's made it this far. I'm not gonna change. I'm gonna go with JJ Moore is gonna get this championship. The race last week was pretty solid. They were battling all race long. A little bit of contact going on. I expect to see more of that as we get down to the end of this one. So I'm gonna take JJ Moore. Jake Reeves out of that 4. What you got?
Well, I mean, you got Jake taking Logan, all right, and then you're going to take JJ. I already picked Patrick already for the Xfinity deal, so I tell you what, I'm going to go with upset. I'm going to go with Jason Taylor. I'm going to go with Taylor because I've watched Taylor race in these next gen cars. He knows a thing or two how to get in these bad boys right here. So I'll go with Taylor. That way we all have a different one on this one. So I'm gonna go with Taylor on this one.
Yeah, we're really putting the pressure on Pat for tomorrow night. He's got a lot to live up to. 3 picks. That might be good for Jake. Jake might be doing a little psychology on him and having us all pick Pat to put a little curse on him, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, Cruising Classics Next Gen Series has been a really fantastic season, and that'll be on Maconey Entertainment Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be on V-Speed, and then Maconey for the Cruising Classic Next Gen. I'll actually be producing that one, so I'll be on the cameras and stuff behind the scenes for Maconey on Wednesday night. So looking forward to that. Loving being a part of any kind of championship race here at Goat Locker. As far as Thursday nights, well, this is where the bread and butter's coming in. There's a lot here in this particular room. We might need to spend about 10 minutes on this one because there's a lot going on right here in this chat. Of course, you got your announcer, Jake Reeves, for the Veterans for Life Foundation ARCA Series on the show with us here tonight. We got me and Jake both in the pro Final Four, along with Chance Taylor and Brandon Wallace. And then in the amateur division, you got Rusty Rafferty, Tyler Justice, Michael McCarthy, and Chuck Phelps. All right, guys, break it down.
Jake, why don't you take this one?
Well, and guys, and everybody at home, I've watched these guys race each and every single week, and each and every one of them has the right to be in the championship in their respective divisions. I'm going to go and start with the amateur division because literally, if anybody watched last week on the National 360 Racing Network, there was, however y'all want to look at it, maybe there was just a little bit of controversy, if you want to look at it that way. And, there was a little bit, right there between McCarthy and Tyler Justice. And, any of these guys right here in this amateur division, literally all 4 of them, Rafferty, Justice, McCarthy, or Phelps, any of these guys can win this thing. It's all about what happens, who gets chaotic, any kind of crazy stuff happens. McCarthy's been the one that's kind of been the dominant one that I've been watching so far this season. Tyler Justice may have a bone to pick with him. I mean, I think McCarthy said, that they were cool. I believe that's what he said. I could be wrong. Maybe not with Tyler. Tyler may be playing possum and really thinking different here. Rafferty, he's won a couple times, and Chuck Phelps has kind of been that sleeper, really. Honestly, my head is going to say McCarthy. My head will say McCarthy. But my heart, honestly, I'm going to go with the upset out of this because I think McCarthy, Justice, and Rafferty, all 3 of them are going to be racing like hell around one another. I think all 3 of them may end up wrecking each other out. I'm going to go with Chuck Phelps. I say Chuck will probably get it done and be able to dodge the chaos. Now, if chaos don't happen, I think it's going to be McCarthy. At least that's what I'm thinking out of all that. Now, when you go to the pro division, I mean, there's only 2 really that stand out. And Chance Taylor and Brandon Wallace, I'm sorry, but it's the 2 right now that's sitting here in this room right now, and it's Eddie Smith and Jake Ellison. Both of y'all are the top dogs out of everybody in that championship 4. What it's going to come down to is determination and who's pissed off. The one that is mad, the one that is pissed off is Jake Ellison because he he had it last year if Andy Kurtz didn't come in there and win like 8 races out of the season. I got to go with Jake. Eddie, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to take Jake right here because the way he was talking when we went to Atlanta, he was like, nah, there's no way I'm going to even finish this race. I'm going to get caught up in a wreck. Something crazy is going to happen. And damned if he didn't go out there and win it. So if Jake puts himself in a good position, I think he may have something for you. Now, Eddie, you can prove me wrong here, but I think it's just really the determination and what happened last season. I think that's what's going to get Jake Ellison this championship come Thursday.
I like it. I couldn't disagree with you at all. I don't normally, championship races have not been very good to me. And I just race in the series for fun. I'm not going to, I just show up every week and just have a good time. So, I would not be surprised if any of these guys won. My heart is in the amateur division. Obviously, is going to go with Chuck Phelps. Chuck's one of my favorite guys. I enjoy spending time with him. I wish I could race on a race team with him again. That was always really fun. So anytime I can pull for Chuck in some way, I'm pulling for him. So he's my guy in the amateur division. But I am excited to see what McCarthy, Justice, and Rafferty, what that little trio is going to look like. Not a lot of love there, as far as I can tell. Some guys not too thrilled about how they've been raced and how they're racing each other. And, we go back and look at it all the time. And, there's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, usually in the blame department. So we'll see how that plays out in the championship race. It's a good way to kind of throw it in there. But I'm pulling for Chuck no matter what. I don't have anything to base it off of. I'm just going to go for Chuck, and I think he's going to get it done. I would love to see that. Now, as far as the pro division, it's hard for me to pick because I'm in it. So I won't. I won't pick. I'm just going to show up, have a good time. Whoever wins the championship wins it. I am, though, going to talk about the overall of this race, having 8 drivers going to be battling for a championship, which is really cool. 2 different championships. How that's going to play out, I think that's going to be the real interesting part of this, especially when you're talking about the pro division and the amateur division. These guys are all going to be racing for their own championships. And, there's a lot, McCarthy's been run up in the top 5, a lot of these races, along with Tyler Justice, Rusty Rafferty. They have as well. So, there's going to be a lot of intermingling between guys that are racing for different championships. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. Pit strategy, cautions at the right time. Homestead's not an easy track. It's not going to be an easy one Thursday night to really maintain. It's going to be loose on the exits. I mean, there's a lot of potential for some drama in this race. So I think it's going to be fun to watch how it all plays out, who's able to do what. But I definitely think it's going to be a good race. So yeah, I don't know. Chance Taylor or Brandon Wallace. Brandon Wallace is going to be my pro champion. So Brandon Wallace, Chuck Felt's going to be your champions in my opinion. What you got, Jake?
I'm gonna go with Chuck Feltz again with the amateur division. He's always very solid on the track, always trying to keep his head in the game and always misses the wrecks when they happen. So I think he's gonna come out on top in that amateur division. As far as the pro division, I'm gonna go with your pick, Eddie. I'm truly not gonna take a pick because any one of us can win it. I mean, it's definitely going to come down to strategy and who keeps their head in it, the best. If it goes long run, it's definitely going to be, who gets that pitch strategy right, the first time. If there's cautions, it's who's going to, not get loose on exit, trying to push it, consistently. So it's definitely going to be a shootout on Thursday, and I don't even want to pick.
Yeah, track position is going to be important at Homestead. It's going to be important to keep your car out front.
And it's just not fair to pick one singular person because any one of us could win. Chance Taylor, he has his strengths in being fast. Brandon Wallace, he always banks on that fuel strategy. Fuel strategy comes out, with a caution just right. Yep. Brandon Wallace can win. You're extremely good at saving tires. So if it goes green flag the entire race, you're extremely good at saving tire. I don't even know what I'm good at, because I don't know what I'm doing half the time. But
we're getting jumped on in chat for copping out, Jake. So I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I don't want to win. I wouldn't show up if I didn't want to win. But I'm just I don't know. I'd be happy for you if you won. I'd be happy for Chance Taylor if he won, and I'd be happy for Brandon Wallace if he won. I'd be really happy for Brandon. So I don't know. I'm just not. I guess I'm just not invested enough. Maybe I need to be. I don't know. Maybe it's not a good thing, but I'm just. I love that I'm able to race here. I'm usually broadcasting, so I love that I get to race here. So it's been a fun season. I'm looking forward to racing it out with I guess all 7 of those guys, plus everybody that shows up, which has been pretty healthy field. So yeah, it's going to be a good race. I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to see who comes out on top in both series. And it's going to be cool to celebrate. Normally, one person gets to celebrate on a championship night. It's going to be cool to have 2 people get to celebrate, 2 champions. It's been a really cool season. I love the way this thing is laid out. And honestly, when you have pro and amateur guys together, a lot of times there can be a lot of, heads butting. But I haven't really seen that a whole lot this season. I think the fact that they're split in their own points has helped alleviate that type of stuff. It hasn't been like that at all. And I think it's been a damn good success. So hats off to everybody, Daniel Kukil, and everybody that's involved in that. It's been pretty damn awesome. And Jake will be on the call on Thursday night. Be crowning a champion, Jake. You and Ding Bigglesworth.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be an absolute good one. And one thing, if I may add off this, folks, these 4 right here, or 8, I should say, main thing about this, and I'm going to kind of put an announcer's hat on here basically, but these 8 guys right here, what they've got to do is they've got to be patient. They've got to race who they're racing against. They can't get caught up in the moment if one of them's up there possibly racing for the overall win and say they're the amateur division, they're up there racing for the overall win. They can't get themselves in a bad spot. They've got to, if it comes down to it, they've got to just take their lumps and just let other people go if it comes down to that point, because they've got to worry about the other 4. They ain't got to go out there and win the race. Nobody's got to win the race. Mm-hmm. It's all about beating the other 3 that is in your division. So you were talking about, making sure that people don't butt heads and everything. Going for a championship, that may get that mentality up of, oh, I've got to win this damn race. No, you don't have to win it. You just got to run your race and do what you have done to get you to this point. That's exactly what all 8 drivers need to do. And I love this format, and I cannot wait to see how this bad boy is going to turn out Thursday night.
Yeah, it's been an incredible season. So, all right, well, we want to spend a little extra time on that since all 3 of us were involved. And so we'll move on to the Veterans for Life Racing Truck Series. This has been an incredible season as well. All of them have been great, but I'm particularly fond of this one just because of how competitive it has been. Drabick, Jeremy Garner, Levi McCarty, Craig Bontrager. Good luck with this one because, God, I could not. It's unbelievable. This is the best because in the other ones, there's a lot of clear, this is a favorite, but I think this is the strongest Final Four that we have in all the seasons. Yep. This is tough. And the track is, where are we at?
Darlington.
Oh, yeah. Darlington. So I'm not really sure how that's going to go. I feel like Garner is pretty good there, but, when we went to Phoenix, I had Levi McCarty wasn't on my radar as being somebody who would dominate a race. And Levi McCarty came out and just wiped the floor with everybody. And Craig Bontrager has been solid. I just want to highlight his race this last week where he was fighting with Jay Cam for that final transfer spot and spun going down pit road, went down 2 laps and was able to fight back, catch things just at the right time. Jay Cam with a little bit of issues with a car on track, and boom, he is 1 point in to the Final Four. No wins. We have 11 different winners, and all the other guys have at least 1 win. Craig, no wins on the season. How cool would it be for him to get that championship? So, I'm going to pick based on what I think the track, who I think is going to be good at the track. Jeremy Garner said that is my favorite track, Darlington, one of my better tracks. So with that kind of confidence, I'm gonna go with Jeremy Garner.
I'm gonna go with the dark horse pick. I'm gonna go with Craig Bontrager. He's been extremely fast these last 5 weeks. He's putting down solid times. As long as he keeps his head in the game and on the track and not race anybody but race Darlington itself, I think Craig's going to be one to beat. Now, in saying that, Jeremy Gardner's been, he's a past truck champion, lots of truck series wins. Levi has the most consistent, finishes of the final four drivers. So he's going to be a tough pick. Pat, he has multiple wins at Darlington, throughout here in GR, so he's going to be extremely good. But I do think that Craig's going to have that speed as long as he keeps his head in the game.
Well, this is one of those times, like, when I say on a broadcast, like, you could basically go to a casino, go to the roulette wheel, and just basically just spin the ball and just see where it sticks. I mean, that's basically what you're looking at with these four right here: Drabick, Gardner, McCarty, and also with Bontrager. I mean, I want to go with a dark horse, because I've been in that situation. I love the feel good stories, with Bontrager, but I mean, Gardner's just that fast. I mean, he is just that fast. And one of these trucks, as y'all mentioned, past truck champion. I'd say, if Gardner messes up, I'm going to go with the dark horse. I'll go with Bontrager. But I think it really, in my opinion, I think it's Gardner's race to lose. So I'm going to go with Big Daddy Jeremy Gardner off of that right there. But
yeah,
don't count out Bontrager.
Yeah, I think if I had to kind of theorize how this race is going to go, I'm going to say that Garner and Drabick are going to be battling it out. Levi is going to continue to run third, fourth, fifth, like he has all season. And I think if it plays out where they race it out and they make contact, I think Levi wins. And that's definitely possible. Pat and Jeremy have had, some contact. They race hard. Neither one of them will give an inch. That's one thing I will say. And I've said this about Pat, even Jake before. I mean, these guys do not roll over for anybody. They're not going to move over. And Darlington is not a very good place for that type of driving, I have to admit. Whenever you got some guys that say, you ain't going to pass me unless you work for it, that usually can make for some exciting, maybe a little bit of door banging. So there is a lot of possibility at Darlington. That's sort of a wild card track where, you can make contact with the wall and your race is over. No faster pair in the series. It is going to take a perfect race. That's why I love Darlington. You have to have a perfect race if you're going to win, and I think you're going to have to win the race Friday night. It should be an unbelievable race. But I think Pat and Garner will battle it out. Levi will be there if those two get into it with each other. And Craig, I think he's got a great shot. He's been really fast. He's surprised me. He's got to get better at the tire wear on the long run. We've seen him be really fast early on, but in the longer runs start to struggle. So if he can figure that out, Darlington's a great place. It's not a good place if you're not very good at saving tires. So we'll see how that all plays out. So I think it could be any one of these guys. This is the one that's the most up in the air. But man, what a freaking, I almost cussed, a great season that this one has been. I'm really going to be sad to see this one over. I could watch 15 more races of this series. It's been unbelievable. So hats off to everybody that's been running it. It'll be on V-Speed. Can't wait to be a part of the end of that one. So going to be a good one there. And then we got to get to the Sunday Truck Series, which had some fireworks Sunday night. And they set the Final Four. It's David Duke, Ben Stevens, Chance Taylor, and Michael McCarthy. And, you see a couple names that you've seen already, Chance Taylor, Michael McCarthy, and you got Ben Stevens and David Duke. They only run this Sunday night InVets Truck Series. And, this past week was a pretty wild race. They some contact with Jeremy Garner, who's not in the playoffs. Him and David Duke racing it out for the win. Luckily, it didn't have an effect on the Final Four. David Duke had plenty of points. He was able to finish second. So in this race, David Duke, Ben Stevens, Chance Taylor, Michael McCarthy, and I don't know why I don't have the races. The Final Fours races.
Old Atlanta.
Old Atlanta.
Ooh.
I might be in that race. I raced Pocono.
I thought about racing it too.
Yeah, I raced at Pocono, and I'm looking. I don't know. I lay a chance I can run some Old Atlanta. I love it, but I'm gonna go first here. Kind of jump the gun. It's gonna be on Maconey Entertainment. Man, I tell you what. This one's like the Friday night series at a track like Old Atlanta. I'm not real sure because I think all four drivers are really stout. Ben Stevens is really good. David Duke very, very good. Chance Taylor also has been pretty damn consistent. And Michael McCarthy, obviously, very fast. So this could go any different ways. I think it's 25% chance for everybody, but I'm going to give it to Chance Taylor. I think Chance Taylor gets it done at old Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with Chance Taylor too. He's definitely gonna put in the work this week to at that track to try to save some tire, especially if it goes green to make that happen. He's got great support behind him in the Veterans for Life racing team, so he's definitely gonna have that support, and he's gonna get it done.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, I was going to ditto what both of y'all was saying. I was thinking Chance Taylor out of that as well. But, Chance has got this. Oh, you know what? you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go with Chance too, because granted, he is in that battle with both of y'all in that ARCA series and everything else. And basically, I guess from what we basically just called out right here, he thinks that he really doesn't have a shot at it, which Chance, yes, you do have a chance at it. You see where I went with that. But, I think what he's going to be really worried about is going into this race right here and feel like this is my race right here. This is the one that I'm going to be wanting to go for right here. So I got to go with y'all on this. I got to go with Chance Taylor. David Duke will probably give him a run for it.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be Chance Taylor at the end of it.
It's definitely close. I mean, we could have said either one of those names, and I wouldn't be able to disagree with you. I think David Duke obviously has shown he can win races. He's had some issues. He gets caught up in a couple things, stuff that may not be his fault. I can't account for all of his incidents, but he's had some rough races here and there. Ben Stevens has been pretty solid all season long. And Michael McCarthy has got the speed and honestly the aggression to win races. Sometimes guys who are too passive, you don't win races being passive. Sometimes you have to be aggressive, and there's no doubt to him or anybody else in the league if he's got the aggressive part. Some may say a little bit too much. That's not up for me to decide. But he's definitely got what it takes to win races, so he definitely can get it done. But, man, I tell you what, this championship week is going to be exciting. I hope we celebrate it. I hope it's something that is celebrated. Goat Locker has done so many incredible things this season, $20,000 plus in sim rigs, and been giving out countless lives touched and changed and made a difference in, all the partners and sponsors and people that flock to this organization now is such a huge deal. People want to be a part of it. People want to have their brands a part of Goat Locker. That says a lot. I think this season has been one to remember for a long time, and I think this championship week is going to be incredible. So celebrate it, guys. When those guys win the championships, they have earned it. These races, these seasons have been incredibly competitive. So those champions will be no doubt deserving, and we should celebrate them and celebrate Goat Locker. What they've done this week should be sort of a victory lap in its own right, where we just say, hey, this is awesome what Goat Locker's done in 2024. We're going to flip the calendar, go into 2025, and Goat Locker is full steam ahead, going to be continuing down that road. So, man, can't thank Jamie, Pat, Jamie Perkins, all the folks behind the scenes, Jacob Ellingson, everybody who does work, all the admins who have stepped up. There was an admin meeting. Some people stepped up and said, hey, we want to be a part of this. We want to put our time and give our time to Goat Locker. So big thanks to all of them. And 2025 is going to be really incredible. So keep your eyes and ears open for what's going on with Goat Locker. There's a lot to get involved with, a lot of series that if you want to race, you definitely have a great opportunity here. So, let's celebrate this series, this season, this week, and just been a fantastic season. So, but we've reached the time limit, so we got to get out of here. I want to thank Jacob Ellingson for joining as always and bringing his thoughts and opinions and what he does to this podcast. And then Jake Reeves, man, definitely appreciate you joining and being a part of it. If you want to catch Jake Reeves, he's on Nazareth 360 broadcasting a lot, but it definitely on Thursday nights on the ARCA series, and then the door banging download that comes out on what night, Jake?
It comes out late Thursday night, early Friday morning. Usually we do about 2 episodes. One of them I talk a lot about this going on with Nazarene. Obviously, the Veterans for Life ARCA series gets talked about. And then the second episode is the Beer Buddies segment. Both of y'all have been past Beer Buddies on there. Patrick Dravick's been on there as well. And so go check that out. 2 episodes a week. And for some of you door banging download fans out there, we got a little surprise for y'all here in a couple of days, maybe about a week or so. So gonna be some good things coming out for the fans.
Well, if you've somebody's never watched or listened to the Door Banging Download, where can they find it?
I can find it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Possibly going to be putting it out on YouTube here pretty soon, but right now it's just Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And there's a Discord link if you need to. If you got Discord, send me a message. And, just search me. You'll be able to find it with the logo on there, and I'll get you a link to the Discord, and you can join in on all the craziness.
Heck yeah. Well, as always, at the end of these Goat Locker races, with dadgummit, if we don't have to thank all of our sponsors, so we're going to do that like always. InVets we want to thank InVets for all that they do. InVets saved my cat one time. My cat was in a tree, and InVets got it down. InVets, they cooked I was at McDonald's the other day. I pulled up to the window. InVets handed me my cheeseburger and fries, and we appreciate InVets for all they do. Huge sponsor, and we'll be looking out for the InVets in-car camera. But seriously though, InVets is a huge part of what Goat Locker does, and they deserve to be celebrated. Of course, you got Lincoln Tech, which sometimes gets kind of left out because it's not a series sponsor, but Lincoln Tech has been the sponsorship of this whole entire series. So when we talk about these incredible races, this full season, how great it's been, well, Lincoln Tech is a huge part of that. They are the title sponsor of the entire series, so I want to thank Lincoln Tech. Hidden Wit Brewery for their sponsorship of the Tuesday night series, Cruising Classics for the sponsorship of the Wednesday series, Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, which have a lot of partnerships. They showed some races, gave out a sim rig there in Columbus, Ohio, and then Veterans for Life Foundation, Veterans for Life Racing, Jam Printing and Promotions, McConey Setup Shop for supplying the setups for Friday Night Truck Series, V-Speed, Nazareth 360, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, Alexander PCs, and all these folks are where the sim rig comes in. So Alexander PC supplies the PC, Sim Motion, the sim rig, the mobile rig, where they go everywhere to the different events. Next Level Racing, iRacing, and of course Above the Yellow Line. Thank y'all so much for everything y'all do. Thank y'all for watching, and we will see y'all next week. See y'all later.
Yes,
Y'all have a
sir.
good one.